So have you ever faced any backlash or any challenges and consequences as a comedian, pushing back a little bit the boundaries of things? Yeah.
Yes, I have. Yeah. Yeah. My last special, I make fun of both sides.
Yeah.
And yeah, I always get that backlash because I do that a lot. I'll make fun of anything. And so yeah, people have gotten upset. Yeah. I've felt the backlash, and my characters are edgy, and they're real people that you'll find in the world, and so sometimes that hits a little too close to home. The Greeks especially are very torn over my character, Mr. Panos.
Yeah.
They either love him or hate him. And the ones that love him are usually a little younger. The ones that hate him are a little older. And it doesn't always break down like that. But, they think I make the Greeks look bad, and I'm making fun of Greeks, and it's proud people. So, I faced probably the most backlash from them for that character.
How about we have that character review Dangerous Liaisons?
Say again?
Have that character review Dangerous Liaisons.
It's a movie that comes from French people. The problem with the French is the weak people. The weak. This is a problem. The Germans come and the French say you have to have making sex. We don't know how to fight. We're making sex. That's what the French do. This movie is about French people doing what the French do. Having sex, being weak people. It's not a good movie. They're wearing wigs. We don't have in Greece. Nobody's wearing the wig. How come you wearing somebody else's hair? Because you're crazy. You're crazy person here.
I think
I don't know if the Greeks ever had wigs.
He should be he should do a podcast by himself. Wow.
I did one with him.
Yeah.
I did one with him. I did one with her.
Yeah.
There's some episodes up there. Some of them were really good, but it's too hard to do a fucking character for every week. I started to lose my mind. You're starting to think as somebody else. It's really, I would do hours. Sometimes I would do shows with her, and I would just be crushing as her, like people, and I get in a zone, and it's like 40 minutes, but I'm like thinking as another person, and it's like, whoa. Because like nobody did that back in history. You'd shoot a scene as a character for 5 minutes. You wouldn't just go live as that person for a fucking hour or whatever.
Yeah, only Daniel Day-Lewis would do something like that.
Yeah, it's just kind of like, it gets a little weird, dude.
Yeah. One of the things that I think when the pandemic hit and everybody was depressed, one of the things, I started working with George and doing Bad Friends, and a lot of you guys, History of Hyenas and Bad Friends, like, I think help a lot of people get out of that depression, and hang out with you guys. And I think part of the success was like that you guys were edgy, and that you could basically indiscriminately could like make fun of anything, no matter what, sometimes crossing lines, and that was kind of like the fun. So that's why I'm not super, I'm not understanding, or I'm not in tune with like the backlash now that everybody's receiving, because I thought that's what people were searching for.
Yeah, I think during the pandemic they searched for it because when something is so bad like that, you're not thinking, you're not going like, oh, I'm offended. Being offended is the ultimate privilege. That's the irony. Being offended at a joke is the ultimate privilege. It means all your sustenance is met, all your needs are well met. Right. That you're even thinking about. Like, can you imagine, like, if you're struggling, like, in life, and like someone says, gee, you're like, that's the least of your worries.
But do you censor yourself when you write your comedy?
I
never
like censor myself ever. For sometimes for the worse, but I think I'm one of the I don't know who is more. I just say, I just always say, I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to censor. I always just go for the funny. Obviously there's limits. But still, you record it and you cut it out. Because you don't want to break the flow of the funny.
All right, and okay, so final question for me.
Really going off topic.
No, I know. But final question: why would people should watch or rewatch? I think in this case, watch for the first time, Dangerous Liaisons.
Because it's a great movie with a great story that's timeless, that has great acting, is a well-made movie, and will stay with you. The best movies stay with you. You ever notice that? Like the character of Vicomte will stay with you. The character of the Marquise will stay with you. These characters are so impactful that they're so massively pulled off by the actors. It's like, you know, it's like Denzel in Training Day. That character just stays with you. Mm-hmm. You know, Daniel Day-Lewis in Scorsese's Gangs in New York just stays with you. There's so many examples. Those are just a few off the top of my head. And I didn't even love the movie Gangs in New York, but that character is just stays with you. And I think similarly, Dangerous Liaisons, those two characters really do stay with you. And you leave the movie, it's real. So you leave the movie, you know, like unresolved. It's unresolved. You don't feel great at the end. You know, it's an adult movie. It's it's tragic. It's a tragedy at the end. And beautifully shot, that scene in the snow. So if you're a movie fan, every aspect of filmmaking, I think, is done pretty well, you know?
Yeah.
So I mean and then the way the blood in the snow, it's just great. The way, you know, when he's clearly beating Keanu Reeves, and then, you know, he leans up against the wall and the flashbacks, so you know exactly. And his acting is so great, and then he decides to kill himself in that way is perfect. He doesn't kill himself in like a, you know, he kills himself in kind of a heroic way.
Right. In a romantic way.
Romantic way.
Yes.
Yeah. It's not just like he swallowed a bunch of pills or whatever. And then, they die of heartbreak, and which is a real thing. It makes you sick. And I don't know if it can kill you. It probably can.
I mean, I'm not sure if like in the way that the movie does, but definitely.
Yeah.
The filmmaker said that when the studio read that, they were like, "What are you guys talking about?"
Yeah.
So when the movie was at a small studio that went bankrupt, but the guy was a fan of the script and wanted to do it, and then Warner Brothers bought the movie, and because they were in the middle of that, they were able to sneak in and without any interference from the studio. So that it kind of happened.
Wow.
That it wasn't anyone's favorite movie at the studio.
It's like you say, there's always a little serendipity involved in these in these things, these great movies that come to be.
It's awesome.
Yeah. And you know, just that Beyond My Control scene is he just does such a good job with that.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So you guys go watch it.
Yeah.
I've got one more factoid.
Okay.
During production, Malkovich had an affair with Pfeiffer. His 6-year marriage to actress Glenn Headley ended shortly thereafter.
I didn't know that.
Yep. I read about that, and it kind of makes sense. I think like one of the things that always people talk about with movies is like, if you're a great actor and you're living in the moment and all of that, do you actually fall in love?
Yeah.
And there was a lot of like relationships happening in the movies at that. I think the 90s were steamy.
Yeah. That happens to actors because actors don't have real personalities, so they just believe they're those people and they believe the love is real, and it happens all the time.
Right.
I mean, another one of my favorite movies, State of Grace, Sean Penn and Robin Wright. That's where they met.
Right.
And then it never lasts because they realize they're not the characters.
It makes...
Or they change to another movie and they go, my new character doesn't love you.
Exactly.